KrisCarr.com. She's the author of 3 books, and her 3rd one just came out, Crazy Sexy Diet. I have been reading it for the past couple of days, and I'm quite engrossed. So thank you so much for coming to the roof.
Thanks.
Seeing me today on this freezing January day.
It's a little chilly.
It's freezing, yeah, but we're willing to do it because we're crazy sexy.
We are crazy sexy.
So, I wanted to know, you're an amazing writer, and is that a natural gift, or is that something you've developed, or how did that happen? And you can talk to the camera because it's better that way.
That is such a sweet thing for you to say to me. First,
oh my God, it's great.
Thank you.
And I read a lot.
Thank
so,
you.
You know.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, I'm a closeted journaler, so that's how it started.
I love
from the
that.
time I was 16, and I tend to write in a way that makes the medicine get wrapped in honey. I need humor, I need kink, I need it. Otherwise, it's like, why am I going to hang in there with amino acids?
Exactly. Well, the book is actually laugh out loud funny. Plus, it's made me cry a couple of times, which most people know is actually not that surprising. But the laughter is always good. I mean, to make somebody laugh when you're talking about pH and amino acids is just kind of spectacular. So do you want to tell people, in case they're not familiar with you, a little bit about your journey?
Sure, absolutely. You know, my journey started in 2003 when I was diagnosed with this rare, crazy cancer. And there was no cure and no treatment, so I didn't have any Western options, which is
kind of awesome.
Which is kind of awesome. Yeah. And honestly, it was, because it forced me to learn about food, and learn about food as medicine, and learn about how I could change my diet and my lifestyle also, not just what I did, but what was making me, and, you know, start to take exercise more seriously, things that we're told to do, but very few of us actually do. Right? So I went about reading every book, taking every class, getting a million certifications and nothing. You know what I mean? Going around the country.
I do know what you mean.
I can wallpaper my room with certifications from this place, because there's not one place that you can go to learn how to be well. And so I did that for my own well-being and my own longevity, and then and my first 2 books were for cancer patients, and I had a whole nutrition chapter, and so many people said, can you write a whole book on that? And I said, sure!
Oh yes.
No problem. Yeah. Of course, I started to write it, and I was like, wow, this is a big task here. So that's sort of the nutshell version of how it started. It started out of a shit pickle, and it grew into a wellness movement.
Yeah, and it really is quite a movement. If you check out crazysexylife.com, Kris has an amazing blogger posse, and all of these people have really jumped on board, and I think that's what's so amazing, is you have created a movement. So the whole strategy with the Crazy Sexy Diet is pretty straightforward, and you outline it really well. So can you give a little bit about what that is?
Yeah, so that, you know, when I looked at all of these diets and I sort of took the best and left the rest and said, well, what are the best people saying? Like, really distill it down for me first and foremost. And it's creating an anti-inflammatory diet and lifestyle. So we know that inflammation is the root cause of most, if not all, chronic diseases. You'll hear me say that over and over again. And so what are the things that are creating inflammation? So the deeper I went, the more I realized it was, you know, more of the acidic foods, certainly on the standard American diet, and those are the ones that create inflammation, the ones that we want to start to reduce in our lives. And more of the alkaline foods, you know, the plant-based foods. I love plants, I love veggies. That's what we want to increase. So the Crazy Sexy Diet is an anti-inflammatory, pH-balanced, plant-based diet. Yes. And I love juice, so there's a lot of talk about make juice not war, green juices, green smoothies, and of course having fun. Right?
Of course.
You can't just be all about the food.
No, exactly. So where did the name Crazy Sexy come from?
That's such a fabulous question. You know what? At first, it was the subject heading of mass emails that I would send to my family and friends when I was diagnosed. Yeah. They were crazy, sexy cancer updates. And then it was just to let them know that I hadn't lost my sense of humor, even though I was going through something really spooky, to say the least. And then, you know, I started to break it down. Like, what is crazy to me? It's, in my experience in this journey, it's out of the box. It's forward thinking. It's that idea, this thing that you want to do will never happen. That's crazy. Yeah. So I was like, ooh, I like that word. And then sexy, when I think about sexy, it's whole, it's empowered, it's vibrant, right? And cancer was a teacher, life is a teacher, and so it just kind of all went naturally together.
So beautiful. One of the things that you talked about in your book is that so many people think that, that you were this after, you know, kind of wild girl
Yeah,
living in the city, like sex, drugs, and rock and roll a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I didn't know you then, so I have no idea, but I could actually see it. We got some pink hair in here. And that actually on this journey you met your husband. And I thought that was really beautiful, and your dedication to him at the beginning of the book is really beautiful. And so how does that go when you're going through possibly the toughest part of your life? And I mean, I think so many of us think that we have to be like cooked or perfect in order to meet our soulmates, those people primarily being me. So
Okay,
what do you have to say about that?
I'll tell you what, I was shocked because I was definitely the wild party girl, and I was on a diet of bad men. The worse, the better. I was like,
yeah, I really liked it when you compared pH to dating.
to dating. Yes,
That was really helpful.
Gotta find ways to do it, right? Teach the people.
Yeah, yeah.
So when I was first diagnosed, I swore off of relationships. I thought, you know what, I'm going to freelance, but really I'm not going to taste the menu, maybe order a couple appetizers, right? Your girl's got to stay happy.
Right.
Especially if she might die, she should be getting laid.
Especially when you're dying, you should be having sex.
You should be going out on an orgasm. That's what I'm talking about.
That's something else, but we'll circle back to that.
Oh gosh.
You can only imagine where I'm going with that.
Trouble with you. So anyway, I decided to really change that as I was trying to deepen my life. And I think that it's like what they say, when you're not looking and when you're in zone, when you're in your space, when you're in your flow, like you're about to be going on the Freedom Tour, right? Things change, things happen.
Yeah.
And, you know, at first I tried to push it away because I felt really uncomfortable and unsure. And then I was like, hello!
How did you meet him?
He's the editor.
Of your film?
Yeah, he's the editor of the film, and he shot a lot of it and produced it.
And this film is called Crazy Sexy Cancer, no?
Yes.
Okay.
Crazy Sexy Cancer.
Right.
That's how it all began.
Oh my god, that's amazing. So there were a couple of quotes that I really liked from your book that I just wanted to have you expound upon. One was, this is so genius. Some of you might be familiar with Dr. Christian Northrup, who I was raised by, and she has a very similar philosophy to you, so reading your book was quite validating. And so you wrote, "My medicine cabinet is for emergency use only." Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah.
I think we have such a culture that's like the medicine cabinet is a daily, open it several times a day.
Well, absolutely, and certainly in my prior diet and lifestyle, I had it stocked with everything that most of us have. You know, the pharmaceuticals were how I took care of the problem as opposed to dealing with the root cause. And then when I started to learn about diet as medicine, I started to reallocate those funds and put the medicine into my CRISPR.
Yeah.
Start juicing, start eating more
CRISPR
veggies.
is a synonym for refrigerator?
Yeah, you know that
Thank
drawer.
you. Okay. Oh,
Thank
the
you.
CRISPR.
For
Thank
the
you.
people who don't know.
It sounds very British.
And the darling.
The CRISPR.
In the CRISPR,
Darling.
you know. That drawer in the fridge.
Thank you.
So I put the medicine in there, and I started to feel better.
Yeah.
You know, and then the more I went to the refrigerator and less I went to the cabinet, the less I needed to go to the cabinet.
And really one of the things I focus on in my show is how to love your life more. And you wrote that stress is not a badge of courage. So I know that your book is about food, but really it's about so much more than that. So what was the part about you cleaned up your diet, but what was the part about cleaning up your life?
That's also a great question. You're really good. You really are.
Thank you.
You know, that anti-inflammatory diet and lifestyle is not just about what we're eating, it's about what's eating us. And so stress creates a lot of inflammation, it raises cortisol levels, and it generally makes us really unhappy. And I thought, you know what, if I'm going to focus on my health, I need to focus on my happiness too.
Yeah.
And I'll say the first part of my journey with cancer was really just about the diet because I was so scared and desperate.
Yeah.
I thought that would help me immediately.
Definitely.
And I'm on year 8 now of living a really happy, healthy
How gorgeous
life.
is she? Yes.
Thanks.
Wow. You're sweet.
And this past year has really been the year where I've shifted more into the mind and more into my heart. And I think I'm actually healthier now that I've really integrated that piece. I'm not an expert though, believe me, I'm still a spicy mess. But
you're
I
a
focus
seeker.
on it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, which turns out is a lifelong journey.
Thank God.
Yeah, thank God. Otherwise, it would be so boring.
Boring.
So what do you love about your life?
Oh, you're so sweet. You know what? I love really simple things about my life. I love living in the country. I live in Woodstock, New York.
So great.
I love my dog. I love nature. I love, my little family. And those are the things that mean the most to me. That's at my root. And beyond that, I love doing this. I love being a blogger, writing and being able to get out to so many people and help them uplift their lives.
Amazing. And then the last question is, what are you doing in your life right now that you're afraid of, but you're doing it anyway?
Oh my gosh, I'm doing a book tour!
So it's 4 weeks, right?
Yeah.
And you're starting in New York?
I start in New York on Monday the 17th, and then I snake my way across the country.
Okay.
And, they're just so exciting, but you're on the go every single day, and you're, doing print and radio and TV and signings, and, I'm a little nervous about that, but I'm also seeing it as another cool adventure.
It is. It is. Life is such an adventure, and you are quite the adventuress. So thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Mwah!